ファイヤー。みんな見ていてくれ。
Hello, and welcome to Botlane Show episode 12, our final episode, if you can believe it. Today I've got two amazing guests. I've got Fluid and Brianna here. Fluid, for those of you who don't know, was ranked in Chicago as early as 2016 and has some top 100 wins over players like Fiction and Silent Wolf, and is one of the organizers of Hold the L series of monthlies and regionals, which was heavily CTA themed. It is heavily CTA themed. So that's Fluid. And then Brianna ran the mid lane stream, volunteered at CLM tournaments like Unranked and Out of the Blue, and she's been helping out with Melee events for forever. Kevin Tenacity would describe her as one of the biggest unsung heroes of CLM, period. So huge roster to round us out for the last episode of Botlane. Thank you both so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I guess would you both like to introduce? I mean, I kind of introduced you as well, but is there anything else you'd like to kind of mention off the top about yourselves? No pressure, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But
yeah. Oh, I can. No, I'm just.
Don't tell me what character you play. Yeah.
I'm the new Melee Unk, old head. I was there since almost the start now, so that's just a little bit about more about my background.
Awesome. And then Brianna?
Just the same thing. I'd started dating him and then got into all this somehow.
I also didn't know anything. I was not involved in Melee at all. And then I quickly became a Melee ally when I started paying rent on a closet for housing some CRTs. And it's just snowballed from there. So I feel that. Awesome. Well, let's get started with a question for Fluid. What is the story behind your handle?
That is an excellent question, Tori. So the true story about my handle, and only really a small number of people actually know this story. Back when I was in middle school, so I had to be at least 10 or 11. Yeah, 9 or 10. I used to upload rap songs to MySpace. Shout out to MySpace one time.
Amazing.
And the name of my MySpace page was something like MC Fluid or Fluid the Rapper, something like that. And the reason why I chose Fluid in specific was that during my middle school's chemistry class, we had to learn vocabulary words. So we had to learn what a solid is, what a liquid is, what a gas is, that sort of rudimentary physics 101 type stuff. And one of the vocabulary words we had to learn was the word fluid, which for all the hip hop heads out there, or rap heads, what have you, the definition of fluid is something that flows easily. So the emphasis is on the word flow. Flow being your sort of cadence or delivery of lyrics, which translates into being a pretty dope rapper name, IMO.
Yeah, totally. That's awesome. And so that's been your handle since you said rap, and then you just translated that to Melee as well and got involved that way.
No, so Fluid just became my handle, and then okay. I just then it became well, I play video games now, like Xbox Live and RuneScape and MapleStory. I need to put in a name. I could put in a silly name, yeah, from Naruto or something silly like that, or I could put in something that The thing about handles is that I feel like they should be a good handle is a reflection of who you are. And I felt like Fluid, to this day, still reflects who I am on a personal level. It pretty much overshadowed the whole sort of rap thing. It's more encapsulating than that, I feel.
Wow, that's amazing that you were able to pull something so when you were so young and have that fit you for so long.
No, yeah, I guess it's a little lucky on my part that I still I still very much vibe with the handle. Because yeah, it's pretty sick, and
Yeah, I'm
it's
thinking
seldomly used. I get away with usually just Fluid on some websites or platforms still somehow.
that's crazy. I'm thinking back to like my AIM screen name and stuff like that, and it was like Candy Cane, whatever, some numbers and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know, what was I thinking? Like, probably just it was like around Christmas, and I probably saw a candy cane, and I was like, that sounds
Uh,
good enough for me. But that's very
exactly.
cool. So, how did you both get started into Melee? Maybe Brianna, you can elaborate a little bit on your answer first.
Well, Joseph, they started the DPaul Smash Club, D Smash.
Mm.
And so I would come just to hang out with him. They did it Friday nights. And eventually they got someone to stream. But that guy, he studied abroad, but Joseph still wanted to stream. So he got the equipment, but he couldn't TO and stream at the same time. So I
I
kind of just,
tried.
yeah, I kind of just ended up learning how to do all that.
Wow. So, were you using OBS or what was that like?
Yeah, we were doing OBS and a cheap capture card that he got. We didn't even have a
Mhm.
mic at first.
And did you learn like scene transitions and all the kind of like nerdy OBS stuff over time, or was it kind of like taught and set up ahead of time for you?
A little bit over time, yeah. For the stuff Andrew did, Hold That All and stuff, he'd get Melee every day for the mainstream, and that's how I learned scene transitions. Is that they did it and taught me.
Yeah, very cool. I know personally I used to stream quite a bit, and it was such like a journey trying to like learn OBS. It wasn't like that hard or anything, but it was just like knowing the right words. I felt like to search and figure things out and set my stream up the way I wanted it was pretty challenging. So did you come across that at all, or like was it pretty natural to you?
I kind of just copied Melee every day. They gave me everything, and I'm like, I'm okay. I'm gonna learn how to do this because you gave me everything. I'm just gonna copy it.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Cool. And then Fluid for you, how did you get into Melee?
Oh, so my Melee story has historically the period that I sort of originated from. You could classify me as a doc kid, but if I want to be extremely pedantic, I date myself a little bit a couple months before the actual Melee documentary came out. So just for the unaware, the Super Smash Brothers documentary was it is a YouTube series that was released in 2014. I want to say early-ish 2014, um, by a guy named Travis Bootcamp. I think that's who it is. And it was immensely popular. Has hundreds of thousands of views. Pretty much sparked a golden age of Melee. Another golden age of Melee. Um, that is not when I started playing. I started playing in 2013, the latter half, sometime in August or September. And that was because Evo 2013 had its first Melee event in 6 or 7 years, huh? Um, and me and my brother watched it, and we were totally sort of enthralled by what we were seeing. That we decided to start playing Melee, like dust off our GameCube from our garage, and then start playing the like next day and all that fun stuff.
Wow, that's awesome. Was there a specific person that like really whose story really resonated with you in the documentary?
In terms of specific Melee documentary, probably Isaiah has the most sort of what, I guess, personable sort of storyline. But all of the storylines I think in the documentary are quite cool and interesting. I think every episode sort of tells its own story in a pretty meaningful way.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I remember early in my Melee allyship, I was sat down and told to watch the documentary, and so we watched it together with Nicolette. And I do remember it being pretty cool. Like I it definitely gave me a new appreciation for the sport. for the game. I guess you could call it a sport. I don't know. People compete and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's like an esport, I suppose. But yeah, it was really insightful, and it was a cool way to see like into a niche community that I never would have otherwise been exposed to. So it didn't make me a player though.
No. It made a lot of people players, but totally understandable if it's, still not your thing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, how did you both end up in Chicago? I know you mentioned DePaul. Did both of you come to Chicago for DePaul or?
You want to answer this first, Bree?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, we're both from California.
Oh.
I have some family here and just ended up touring some colleges, and I liked DePaul. Pretty much the same for him, I think. Well, besides the family part.
No. So the first time I went to Chicago was to tour DePaul University. And the reason why I chose Chicago is that there are one, I wanted to always see Chicago, so my favorite sort of what artists and whatnot come from the city.
Oh.
So I figured that's I would vibe with it, and I obviously did, and I'm now somewhat stuck here for the good part of my life.
Mm-hmm. Was it like Midwest rappers like Lupe Fiasco or?
That you are reading my mind. It was specifically him. Me and Brianna actually went to a show last Friday. He was doing
That's the only time I've listened to his music.
Really?
Anniversary
Wow.
concert. Yeah.
That's cool. I definitely grew up listening to some rappers, and he was definitely one of them. Very formative years. There's some some songs there that really mean a lot. But that's really cool that you both came here. What was it about DePaul, Brianna, that really like drew you in?
Honestly, the 6-week Christmas break.
Oh, that's sick. I didn't realize it was that long. Is that always like that's just like that can't be standard, right?
No, it's not. It actually is actually really bad for scheduling. But at the time, I thought that was really cool.
Well, I'm glad that you got some time off while you were enjoying your college years. I guess for Fluid, how did you get into TOing?
Really, the reason I came to TOing is because I had to back my boy Unsure up. Yeah, when he started getting into TOing, I just figured that since one, we used to live quite close to each other, and at one point we're actually adjacent neighbors in the same apartment building. But I figured that I gotta help him because yeah, it just helping out friends. I think that's sort of value.
Mm-hmm. And what different hats have you worn as a TO?
Done it all. Some bracket sitting, not really my forte. Really pool captaining, setting up, tear down, stream running. I mean, that's pretty much the whole, the whole shebang, isn't it?
All the hats, yeah. And then Brianna, like Kevin mentioned that you've been helping out with Melee events for forever. What kind of hats have you worn aside from the DePaul streaming hat, so to speak?
Mostly just like bracket stuff, just like helping with like getting people to play and things like I do pool captaining a lot still.
Okay. What does that entail for both? Like, I don't know what a pool captain is. Like, do you have to like yell at people to like get onto their sets and stuff like that, or?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I don't like yelling, so I'll usually find someone else to yell out names if they're not directly in my area.
So you're pretty familiar with like all the people then, if you can figure out like, oh, this is so and so's handle and stuff like that, right?
At one point, I'd say I'm not so familiar with the newer gen anymore, but at one point I knew like pretty much everyone.
Yeah. What do y'all wish more people knew about TOing?
Ooh. What do you think?
Like the time, it's just the time. Like no one really understands how long like brackets take. You know, people get mad that they're waiting for forever for their next match. It's like there are just other things that have to happen first.
My specific nitpick is seating. I feel like people still don't understand how things are seated, or what is taken into account. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And then, what do you think makes a good or a bad TO, from your opinions?
I kind of got a story for with this one, Bree. If you want to go first.
I think it's kind of just like what we were saying. Just someone who, I think a good TO understands time management and understands seating really well. And just like how the tournament flows, pretty much. You can say your story.
I want to echo that, and I'll say, back when I first started playing the game, especially here in Chicago, there was very much like a Wild West, somewhat tournament scene out here, in which there used to be a tournament almost every day of the week, not the weekend, but weekday. And me being a lazy college student, went to most of these tournaments somehow. And a lot of these tournament organizers were very much, I would say, inexperienced. I would leave it at that. But what being in those tournaments were like was a lot of people would show up. There would not be enough setups. And we would most often finish the tournament in like 7 to 8 hours after start time.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that was it. And then to go along with that, a lot of these tournaments also ran Smash 4 because that game released at the same time. So now you're juggling essentially two different games and specifically two different crowds. So that was a whole other can of worms during that time. Fun times though.
Yeah. Do you guys have any like favorite moments or like things like that from you? Maybe not like the horror stories, but like favorite tournaments or things like that in your history?
I'm always partial, and of course I love my Chicago tournaments, but Genesis numbers 3 to probably 7 to 8 will always be my most close to my heart tournament series. For reference, Genesis, that tournament series, takes place in California. The third, fourth, and fifth one took place specifically in Oakland, which is a dope city. Just to have a tournament at. And yeah, we just got to do a bunch of cool stuff in Oakland, and we used to stay at my parents' house for some of those tournaments because I live near the area and whatnot.
Oh, very convenient.
No.
And how about you, Brianna?
I think usually I just have the most fun when I'm actually like volunteering at one, just because that's something for me to do besides just watching Melee all day.
Yeah, Brianna, do you actually play as well, or just organize?
Not in like tournaments or anything. I mean, I played as like a kid, obviously.
Okay.
I've like dabbled with them.
Got it. Yeah, because for me, I don't even play. So when I'm looking at the screen, I'm like, unless someone's telling me exactly like what's going down and what I should be looking for, I have no clue how to grok. Like, I mean, I understand percentages now, but like beyond that, it's kind of like I don't know the tech or anything. So watching is not the most interesting thing for me to do.
Yeah, just streaming, I would watch a lot. Just doing that. And so
Yeah.
like generally I picked up on like what was good melee and bad melee.
Got it. Okay. So there's more osmosis that I could be doing over time. Awesome. Well, do either of you have any TOs that you aspire to be more like?
I think the best TO, personally, all time was Juggle Rob. He used to run the Big House series. And the reason why is I think he just had a very clear vision of what he wanted that series to be like, and he executed pretty much to such a high degree on a consistent level for a span of like 10 years or so. And then he retired. And that's pretty much as good as you can get as a somewhat like figurehead TO, in my opinion.
Yeah, totally. I will have to look him up. Maybe we can have him on the pod. No, I'm kidding. Today's the last episode, so. But yeah, okay. So, do you guys have a dream tournament that you'd like to run? That you've never, like, maybe you've never done it before, but like maybe it's Big House, maybe it's Genesis or something like that.
Probably still dreaming to this day. Some Chicago tournament that would take place either in like the McCormick Center or in like one of the bigger convention centers in like the Rosemont area. Just to have that manifest in some sort of way would be outstanding, and is something that has been tried before but has not been pulled off successfully ever.
What draws you to like the big size? Like you just want that for the community, or would it be like a feather in your cap?
Very much for the community. I'm very much, I would say, community oriented, especially since I moved here to Chicago. And I think Chicago does deserve that level of event. Mind you, Out of the Blue was outstanding, but it was a one-day tournament still. And perhaps one day we might have a 2-day or a 3-day tournament, but that is still very much wishful thinking.
Yeah, it does take a village to kind of pull those things off, but I'm sure with folks like y'all in the community helping out, I'm sure it can be done.
We definitely have the talent. It's just a matter. I mean, honestly, it's a money thing and finding a suitable venue. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of pivoting here. If you guys couldn't play Melee, what other game or sport would you play?
Oh. You want to go do this first, Brie?
Like, I'm not even like good at melee. If I could pick something to be good at, I guess it's still in like the fighting game genre. I really liked Soul Calibur. That was my favorite growing up.
What kind of game is Soul Calibur?
It's still a fighting game, like Melee.
Okay.
But it was more, they had like swords and stuff. I just really like swords. I think that's cool.
Heck yeah. Okay, so you're giving me Marth. If I had to guess what character, Melee character you're playing. Because I don't think, there's no love for Roy in this community I've experienced, so.
No.
Not even in the Fire Emblem community, too, dude.
Yeah, Roy is not our boy.
Roy's not our boy. That's the quote. For sure. So I'm gonna lock in my guess early on swords here, and Brianna, if you wouldn't mind revealing who you actually play, I'm going for Marth. Are you a Marth main?
No, I play Link.
Oh no! Link
Another
does have a sword. Shoot! You shocked me with a Link, because like I don't think I've met a single Link in all of my I mean, we've only done a couple of these interviews now, 12 of them to be specific, but I don't think I've ever met a Link, and that's awesome because I love them, like, less appreciated characters, frankly.
I do too.
Have you considered a young Link?
Nah, I don't really like the fast characters, and he's a little too fast for me.
Oh, okay. Got it. Awesome. Well, okay, so I'm still not sure what Fluid plays, but maybe that'll reveal itself in time.
It'll be hard to, yeah. It will be
Yeah.
hard with the answers I'm giving you, I feel.
Okay, all right.
But let me
That's
see,
okay.
what game? So, in terms of specifically video games, I love the real-time strategy or RTS genre. I would probably play some form of StarCraft, which is the GOAT of that genre, and probably Brood War, just to sort of scratch my competitive itch. In terms of our other games, I'm really big into TTRPGs, and that's really what I've been doing a lot of in the last couple years of my life, both running and playing. So probably just more of that.
Okay. Would y'all organize like similarly for those games, or is there something special about Melee that y'all are like, that's like, I only organize for Melee?
I would say at least for Melee, the coolest thing about Melee, when I first started playing, and still to this day, is how tight-knit the community is. I've always found it to be very open to new people. And the fact that it is present in most cities around the United States, at least. So when I first started playing in the Bay Area, I somewhat got ingrained in the area there and made some friends. And I was confident moving to Chicago, even though I literally only knew like 3 people who were coming from my high school, that I would I wouldn't say easily, but would have avenues to make friends, at least through Melee that way. And it does lend to itself back then not having a means of playing the game online. So if you really wanted to play Melee, you had to find and talk to people. So literally Tori, my closest friends to this day, was because in a DePaul University class of 2018 Facebook group, I put a post on there saying, hey, I live in the Corcoran building. Does everyone want to come over and play Super Smash Bros. Melee? And the 3 people that replied was a guy named Jonas, who I love, Dylan, who I also love, and Steven, who I also love. And those 3 dudes I still keep in touch with. Steven in particular, like, to this day.
I was really hoping one of those would end up being your arch nemesis or something.
I only have one arch
There's an origin story here,
unfortunately. And he has bested me. There is no happy ending with my arch nemesis.
Awesome. And then how about you, Bree? Like, would you organize?
I don't know. It's like Joseph said. I do really like the Melee community. It does feel welcoming and warm, and I just don't get that sense from like other fighting game communities, just from what I've seen.
For sure. And if y'all had to pick another local scene to play in, I'm assuming it'd be NorCal, like California, some of the California scenes. But is that the case, or would y'all play maybe somewhere else?
NorCal, just because I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
But Chicago. I mean, I'm just biased towards Chicago. It would be Chicago.
Makes sense. And then, okay. These are kind of questions more so I can figure out, like, who does Fluid play? So, like, when it came to your top 100 wins over players like Fiction and Silent Wolf, I don't know what characters they play. But if you had to describe it, like, how would you describe the matchups against those 2 players versus you? Was it advantageous, or was it kind of like you were coming in at a disadvantage?
definitely a disadvantage, but I would say at one point, both those players were not as familiar at the matchup as they could have been at that moment. Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting a Yoshi vibe from that. But it's still early days. It's still early days. So, you know, what was that process like for you to train, in order for you to get those, like, wins over those kinds of players? Were you doing a lot of Uncle Punch, or were you just, like, doing matchups with other folks?
So way back when I was younger and therefore had more time and more energy, I used to just sit in front of my CRT and just practice tech skill for about 30 minutes to an hour every day. And that's actually what I attribute still to this day, like a lot of my success to. Obviously, I haven't done that in like almost 10 years now. The other thing that I feel like just got me quite good at the game was that I used to have people come over a lot to my apartment. For the true Chicago old heads out there, they remember that I used to host Smash Fests almost every day in Chicago.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was very much like a dojo's sort of environment where people of all skill levels used to come in and out of my doors, and we would just play for God's amount of hours.
Now, when you were playing with, like, all kinds of people, did you prefer to play people, like, that were better than you, close to your level, or, like, people who are easier to beat than that?
Philosophically speaking, I don't have any any data to back it up, but in my opinion, the best way to get better, especially when you're somewhat starting out, is to play players of all skill levels, especially people that play different characters as well. So I would take it upon myself. I feel like this isn't a thing amongst top players, but I would take it upon myself to play people who were vastly better than me, people who were around my skill level, and people who would, you know, I could easily beat.
Yeah, makes sense. Did you have any highest highs or lowest lows, like, when you were training to get some of these, like, top 100 wins?
Definitely my highest highs would be, I actually don't think my wins over Fluid and Silent Wolf, though I'm obviously quite proud of them. They're not really like a personal high point. I would feel like on my feeling victorious over figuring something out. At least in both of those matches, the way I felt after beating those players was they weren't playing to their best of their abilities, and therefore it's like, I kind of got lucky there, and it does sound somewhat imposter syndrome, but it is what I felt at that time. The win that I probably have the most pride over was when I beat Jake and Shaken. He used to be a top 50 Marth from the Ohio area, I think in the 2018 and 2019 years of Melee. And we were both playing extremely, extremely well. And I think I beat him game 3 in like a very close set. And that was like the closest I ever got to popping off as well, which is something I don't really do either. In terms of lowest lows, there are like so many like disappointing moments where I either underestimated someone or stuff like that. Really, like, nah. Yeah. It just comes with the territory.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now, what character would you love to play against? Like, what's your favorite matchup?
Ooh, probably Fox or versus Marth. I won't say why, I just enjoy
Marth.
playing against those characters for different reasons.
Okay. Fox or Marth? I'm getting like, is it Falco? Is it Sheik? Do you play like a very popular like a very?
No.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Some might say an unpopular character is they
Oh
more
no,
direct
you're not like a
replacement.
Ganondorf, are you? You're not racist, as far as I can tell.
No, no.
Okay, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. All right. Are you a DK?
I'm not a Donkey Kong player. No.
Damn. Okay, that was my guess. Because it's like that'd be fun. That'd be wild. That'd be a little weird out there. What are you? A puff? Are you a puff?
I don't play Jigglypuff. No.
Damn. Okay, I'm just striking out.
Yeah, it like I said, it very hard right now to kind of classify what I am, and I don't blame you because there isn't a lot of of my kind out there. But
Wait, so what are you?
so I play Ice Climbers. I've always played Ice Climbers.
Oh, ices. Okay. We've had ices on here before. That's fun.
Yeah,
How would your fans
Tell me.
describe your play style as an icy?
At one point, I was, in some people's opinion, the coolest Ice Climbers to ever pick up the controller. But
Wow.
that's no longer the case. I think there are people way more cooler than me and obviously way more successful. But I like to think I pioneered this play style in a way.
Wait, tell me more.
Sorry. Just to really set the groundwork, are you familiar with the Ice Climbers technique of wobbling at all?
I have heard wobbling is banned.
So at one point, wobbling was not banned for a good 10 years of these games' competitive life cycle. The wobbling technique was allowed in competitive play. So you would honestly have players, and I'm not joking to you, you would have players who would pick up Ice Climbers just to use this technique. And they would tell you, I'm using Ice Climbers because I know how to wobble and I think it will lead to success. That being said, there was a lot more drawbacks on the character, that though you would have, people winning with this character, no one was truly like a top 5 to 10 player using Ice Climbers and playing in this sort of style. When I picked up Ice Climbers, I picked them up because I thought they were really cool. And I just like the fact that there's 2 of them, and there's somewhat like this partner, like mirror aspect to this, to their fighting or their play style that is unique on a FGC sort of game theory way. And I couldn't wobble, and I still can't wobble. And that's because pretty much wobbling necessitates that you have that you can keep a rhythm, specifically 200 beats per minute, and I cannot do that.
Yeah,
That makes a lot of sense.
My favorite part of Fluid vs. Fiction is when the commentators realize that Fluid can't wobble.
That's
so
hilarious.
That is yeah. If you ever want to watch that set, it is hilarious set too. Just watching Fiction sort of kind of fall apart as he realizes what's happening to him. But I then made a playstyle around more fundamental parts of the game. One thing about wobbling is that you kind of have to tunnel vision on getting a grab, because that's how you start the technique. So it becomes like a game of how do you get a grab? How do I set up for a grab? That's how people who use wobbling were like. So it got a lot of sort of flack or negative feedback from the community, just because players would play this one-dimensional way, and it would lead to pretty much them finding success in it, though not to a greater degree for people to want the ability to be banned. I took on again a more fundamental approach, which used more of other Ice Climbers technique, like having Nana, the partner, or the side climber being covering other options, using their very good grounded movement, using their very disjointed aerials to find openings and stuff like that. Again, I didn't find a lot of success. Like, for example, I never was ranked top 100, and I don't really have that goal at the current moment in my life to be a top 100 player. But I know as a fact that Ice Climbers players to this day looked at my footage and actually attributed a lot of their success to my gameplay during that time. And that's because I talked to them when they told me this.
Wow, that's awesome. How would they describe like your style? Like just
Fluid.
in general. Oh,
Yeah.
of course. Of course.
But honestly, it's very much fundamentals. I use a lot of aerials, especially like I mixed up aerial timings and drifts and stuff like that. Just conditioning opponents and stuff like that. I have a really fundamental way of playing the game. Nothing really somewhat very much different from how Ice Climbers played during the time.
Got it. Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for coming on the pod today. Those are all the questions that I have, but we can entertain some questions from chat if anyone in chat wants to sign off with some questions here. But in the meantime, do you guys want to plug anything while we wait for questions from chat?
Go to locals. Imperium starts next week. Unfortunately, I can't make it because of capped, but also because Wednesdays I'm busy. That's generally I'm either at work or I'm running an RPG game of sorts. Yeah, that's all I got.
Which RPG are you running?
So on Wednesday I run the RPG Delta Green.
Oh, I want to play Delta Green. Yeah, I play a lot of indie TTRPGs actually, and that's definitely been on my list of games that we want to try to play.
Cool.
It's fun.
Delta.
You're both in it together?
Yeah, he's running it. It's one of his all-girl ones right now.
Oh, cool.
My character probably has rabies right now.
Nice. We love that.
We do love that for her. It's a very dark setting. Yeah. Very, at times, almost like hopeless. Black pill, almost. But,
yeah.
No, it's a fun time.
That's awesome. Okay, we do have 2 audience questions. The first one is, would it count if we had a Melee tournament at Midwest Fur Fest? In terms of Melee at a Chicago Convention Center.
What? Who's the question asker?
I think it's Nicolette.
Oh, let's go Nicolette. Midwest Fur Fest. I've always loved the furries. So, at one of the Genesises, I want to say Genesis 3, that was in. It was at the time the Bay Area FurCon was occurring in the directly across from our venues. So you would have people in fursuits, like standing shoulder to shoulder with Melee players. That was awesome.
That's amazing. I love that. And then Cadence asks, "What's your favorite anime?"
I have 2, and I know that's sort of a cheating answer, but
you can have 2.
And it also flip flops on how I'm feeling.
Is it
my go-to answer?
Is it going to be Gintama and Legend of Galactic Heroes?
No, not Gintama. Gintama's up there, but it's not in my top 3 or 4. My canned answer is Legend of Galactic Heroes. 110 episodes of just peak sci-fi anime. That anime is superb. I want to watch it a 3rd time. Yeah, that is an excellent series. Pretty much the peak of the genre of the medium as well, just in terms of story, animation, voice acting, stuff like that. And then my more personal answer is Chihayafuru. That people say like stuff like Ping Pong or Haikyuu is like Melee the anime. I think dead ass Chihayafuru is Melee the anime. In terms of the character storylines and what it feels like to actually be part of some sort of community.
What game do they play in that anime?
It's this Japanese card game called Karuta, It's
Oh, okay.
it's basically like memory. You have like there's cards that have like poems on them. One side has like the beginning of the poem, and you have as the player has to match with the second half of the poem in front of you, and whoever does it fastest like wins.
Wow. So you're just memorizing poetry? That's kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, memorizing the poetry is like the baseline. You have to know the poems first in order to play. Then it becomes like a crazy game of like audio.
Like memorizing like the first syllables of all of the poems. So you got to be the fastest.
Mm-hmm. And then my understanding, you get Tori and Nicolette are aware of the Japanese language. I wouldn't say that how proficient you are, but like due to the phonetic nature, like right, you based off the first pronunciation, you're able to like guess what poem it will be. So you could choose the card before even like the word itself is pronounced, but then it becomes like a game of like odds or like
There'll be like 3 that start with to, and it's like which to is it? And sometimes people just like take a gamble.
Yep.
Is there a parallel there with like how you kind of read your opponent in Melee, or is it just the vibe of the anime overall is like?
So Tori,
like
this
Melee.
is the cool thing. So for Melee, audio plays a big thing in Melee too. People don't tell you. Well, obviously casuals wouldn't know this, unfortunately, but when you do stuff like tech chasing, players fall or a character falls on the ground, you could react and know which way they're gonna tech roll based off what you hear.
What?
Yeah. And then also this is like goes into human reaction speed, but humans are more keen on reacting off of sound than based off visuals.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
Cool stuff, yeah. That's just like a parallel right there amongst dozens and literally dozens of parallels in the anime Chihayafuru. So go ahead and give that a watch. The anime series is finished. It is shoujo / josei, though in my opinion some more josei. Or you could watch the live action one, which is also quite popular in Japan and is very much almost like a J-drama with romantic elements, but it's still quite dope.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know they did a live action. That's cool. Ober mentions that it's basically like 2 frames faster to react to audio than visual on average, so that's pretty wild. Yeah, and also, Chihayafuru is godlike, so it's so good. So yeah, awesome. Well, thank you both so much for coming on the pod. This has been really fun talking to you both. I hope you had a good time. And anything else, like any last words that you want to say aside from just go to your locals?
Let me see. Thank you, Nicolette, for running Botlane. It was a good 12 weeks of Melee content. Will Botlane ever return? ?
That's a great question. Only Nicolette knows. Only Nicolette knows.
Nice. Yeah, you got anything, Brie?
No, just thanks for having us.
Watch Gintama?
Yeah. Gintama's good.
Like, yeah, watch more anime. That'll be our
watch good anime. There's a lot of
watch good anime. Yeah. Watch some anime your friends recommend.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much. I don't know if we have comms lined up. We do not this week. So just enjoy the rest of your the silent stream. And have a good evening, y'all. Thanks so much for tuning into Botlane Show, episode 12 with Fluid and Brianna.
Yay.
Oh, wait, sorry. We have one more question. Who's your favorite Gintama character from Ober?
You go first, Brie.
Yeah, it's Okita Sogo. It's just I love the psychotics.
He's the guy with the rocket launcher who shoots it every time he pulls it out. And at his allies. He shoots it at his allies.
Well, he's trying to take the vice captain spot. He's got to kill the vice captain to do that.
And Fluid?
Mine is Katsura. He is a long-haired terrorist, and he is drawn by his, I would just say, companion Elizabeth. And me and Brianna actually cosplayed as Katsura and Elizabeth at ASEN, or Anime Magic, about 2 years ago now. And we got 200 upvotes on Reddit, r/Gintama, for that post. So there you
Wow.
go. Yeah.
That's
It was a
awesome.
good cosplay.
I was trying to figure out because I've never heard of Gintama. I don't really watch anime that much, so I was like, what could a rocket launcher person and this other character have to do in common? And the premise is pretty wild. I have to admit.
Yeah, it's like
No,
Edo period Japan, but with aliens. So there's a lot of sci-fi elements.
Very
it's
fun.
a remarkable series. Wholly original, very funny, and at times quite emotional and moving. So shout out to
Awesome.
Gintama
Well,
again.
yeah, shout out to Gintama. Shout out to Good Anime, Rex. Thank you so much for coming on the pod. Hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening.
I'm waving at my monitor. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, folks.
Bye, all.
Take care.
Peace.
Show me a move. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.